What's up everybody, it's your boy Justin with Herbal.Lyf.Styl, and today we're going to be filling up this raised garden bed. So currently we have a few plants already planted in this raised garden bed, and that would be a kiwi vine, passion vine, cucumber, and a cayenne pepper. So the plants that we'll be planting today are actually more like a mystery basket for me. It looks like my wife already set out plants for me to plant. Alright, so it looks like we have some tomato plants, some different varieties. We have some type of melon or squash. We have a pepper, it looks like, some more tomatoes, and some bitter melon. So on top of the plants that you just saw, we will also be planting some seeds. One in specific that I want to be planting is the loofah seed. Alright, so let's get started, and while I'm planting these plants, I'll explain why I'm planting them in the position I am, as well as what I'm doing when I'm planting them. Alright, so we're going to start all the way back in this corner right over here, and what I'm actually going to be planting is that squash slash melon slash maybe even cucumber, now that I think of it. When we plant these, they need a lot of room to grow. So I'm gonna make sure that they're not gonna share this trellis with other plants. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna plant them off onto the edges so they can actually sprawl over the garden and go out somewhere as a ground cover. Alright, so when planting these plants, one thing I like to do is make sure the soil is nice and dry so they're easy to take out. Next thing I want to do is find a spot that I want to bury it in. So now that I found the spot that I want it to be planted in, I'm going to add myself a little bit of mycorrhizal fungi to the roots. Mycorrhizal fungi is a beneficial fungus that actually digs itself into the root, because we're specifically talking about endomycorrhizal fungi. It actually digs itself into the root, spreads out and searches for nutrients, and then provides it to your plant, as well as it's gonna help protect it against negative fungus and nematodes. It's gonna help it against negative bacterias. It's gonna help it with root rot or drought. So I really recommend you using mycorrhizal fungi when planting your plant. Alright, so when planting your squash, cucumbers, your melons, they kind of all follow the same guideline. You want to make sure you space them out properly. So we're going to go about a foot apart with these three plants. Now this will be more than I need from either one of these. I'm going to get an abundance of fruit off of any of this with three plants just alone. So hopefully they all grow and we can be very successful in this time. So again, we're gonna dig a nice little hole. The soil's nice and moist in there. It's a good sign. Sprinkle on some mycelium. Rub it into the roots while I'm doing it. Sprinkle the rest at the bottom and cover it. Now I think the most fun part about this entire journey right now is that I have no idea what I'm actually planting other than what type of plant it is. So I know this is a pepper plant, but I don't know which variety. So this is gonna be fun. And I know those may be some type of, cucumber or melon or squash, but even then, I really wouldn't know the variety until it comes up. So this entire project right now is pretty fun for me. So right now we're going to be planting some bitter melon. Bitter melon is a vegetable that can be used medicinally to cure cancers and other ailments. There's a lot of medicinal benefits behind bitter melon. I recommend looking into it further if you become interested about this plant. So you see, my secret ingredient when it comes to planting isn't any type of fertilizer or anything like that. It is strictly mycorrhizal fungi. So these plants that I'm currently planting are all survivor plants. These are ones that I save them from landing in the dumpster. So just to get them and retrieve them and revive them is just a blessing alone. So that's what I'm doing right now, is I'm reviving some plants, bringing them back to life so that I can make them thrive and I could get a nice harvest off of these plants. Don't let plants go to waste. Grow them if they have a living chance. Make sure we save the plants, because plants will save us. So as you just saw right there, I was able to get 2 plants out of 1. When the soil is loose enough and the plants are still strong, you can tend to wiggle them out from each other and get yourself 2 separate plants. Bitter melon, you can actually keep these a little bit more spaced together. It won't harm them. They do grow really big, but they don't necessarily get issues with being spaced too close together. So again, this one's more about 8 inches rather than a foot, maybe 10 inches. All right, so it's time to plant a nice large tomato plant. This one has been root bound, so what we're doing right now is massaging the roots, loosening them up. We're now gonna dig in the space we want it to be planted. I believe this corner would be nice to see how well it does. We make sure the plant will fit. This time we're just gonna sprinkle, 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 done. Bury, just like that. Again, don't know the variety, just having fun. This could be an early girl for all I know, or it could be like a Cherokee purple. Very fun times. Oh, look at that. Pick and pick. Don't want any flower clusters at the moment. The next plants we'll be planting are these yellow pear tomatoes. If you don't know what a yellow pear tomato is, it's pretty explanatory. It is a tomato that is yellow, small like a cherry tomato, and has the shape of a pear. Here is what that kind of looks like. Alright. So these look like they've been through some rough times. Probably should have been planted a long time ago when we first got them. But we're gonna save its life. How do we do that? Mycorrhizal fungi and some good soil. If you want to know how I made the soil for this raised garden bed, I'll have a link in the description below to how I make my own soil. I've decided to add a special guest. We are gonna plant some crookneck squash. So again, we have our secret ingredient of mycorrhizal fungi. Ooh, secrets being exposed. Just like that. So again, we have the same concept. We're actually planting the squash onto the edges, because instead of them climbing, we're gonna have them as trailing. I think it'll look pretty cool when it's all done. go ahead and bury that. We pulled this right out. We remove any of the dead. Right now, if you guys don't know, I live in Glendale, Arizona, and it is really hot outside when other people right now are dealing with snow. Yeah, it's pretty hot. I'm sorry for you that are dealing with the snow, but it is hot and I'm dealing with heat right now. So I don't know what's worse, bundling up or getting naked, but I'm thinking about getting naked here in a second. It's so dang hot. So I'll plant one more. We'll just plant it like right over here, off into the corner. I think that should be the last one I plant, because again, squash can become in abundance and you may not know what to do with all of it. But I mean, I'll figure it out. Definitely use it all. Nothing will ever go to waste in this home. Went ahead and picked off the little ones. We're good there. So it's time to plant another tomato. I'm gonna get in there, get into that nice, beautiful soil, nice and black and rich. Make sure the hole is big enough. It looks like it is. We're gonna quickly massage and yeah, get in there. Woo. So we have this really awkward shaped tomato. Don't really know how it's even alive or growing, but we're gonna do something fun with it. Something like that will be fine with me. So watch what I'm gonna do. What do you think of that? Should I bury it just like that? Tell me no, because I'm going to. Okay. So if you want to know why I picked the flower blossoms off of one tomato and buried the other tomato horizontally, leaving only about this much of the plant left over, I have a link in the description below to the side-by-side tomato challenge playlist where I'll be able to answer those questions for you. Alright, so now we're gonna plant some of these husky tomatoes right now. Off into the edge, right here. Alright, so I think we're done planting our transplants. Let's move on to seeds. Alright, so here are some loofah seeds that I got. I got them from tradewindfruits.com. This is a 1/2 ounce of loofah seeds, which is plenty. And let's go ahead and start planting these. Alright, so when planting seeds, I like to kind of make a nice little trough where I'll plant multiple seeds so I can ensure that I get the right results. Because if one doesn't germinate, that's okay. You have another one there to grow. So now we're going to sprinkle in mycorrhizal fungi. Yes, it even works with germinating seeds. Second the seed germinates, this mycorrhizal fungi will get to action and find that taproot attached to it and start doing what it needs to do. So now we're going to lay one there, one there, one there, one there, and one there. And if you are unfamiliar with the loofah plant produces a zucchini that when it becomes large actually becomes very light, and the inside of it is almost identical to what you would know as a sponge, and it could be used as a sponge or a loofah or any type of scrubber for anything that you have that you need to clean. So it's versatile, it's natural, and on top of that, when the zucchinis are actually young, you can still eat them. It can be used in two ways, which makes it very versatile, and the plant is a nice trellising plant, so it will engulf most of this trellis that you see behind me. So two more seeds that I'm deciding to plant. We have these cosmic purple carrots, these celery, tender crisp. Alright, so on this side, I'm going to start with the purple cosmic carrots. Reason for that, this side gets more sun than the other side, so I'm going to leave that side that gets more shade for the celery and this side for the carrot. You don't really have to do much, you literally just have to sprinkle them all around. So another reason why celery is so cool, that's because it's just like carrots. You can just sprinkle these seeds lightly all over. Just like that. And you may have success for some celery. Now that we have the transplants planted and the seeds seeded, let's move on to the last step, watering. So now that we're done with watering, it looks like we're done here. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to stay up to date with my videos, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can watch new videos weekly. If you found this video useful, make sure to share it with at least one friend. If you have any questions about this video, or you'd like to share some of your stories about your raised beds, please leave them in the comments below. I'll be glad to read them later. And if you would like to watch live videos, you could join Herbal.Lyf.Styl on Facebook, and I'll leave you a link in the description below. Thank you all for watching. It's your boy Justin with Herbal.Lyf.Styl. Live your life free and keep on growing.